Thank you, Doctor. I definitely get where you're coming from. You see a lot of things that most people never see. Mayor, what percentage of violent deaths involving a firearm in your city are a result of handguns versus rifles? Do you know?
Thank you, Senator. In 2012, unfortunately, we had 331 murders in the city of Philadelphia. And pretty consistently over the last 10 years or so, murder has been committed with a gun or other handgun or rifle type of weapon. Usually anywhere from 82 to 85% of the murders in Philadelphia are committed with a gun.
But you don't know of, just nationally, according to the 2011 numbers, 2.5% of homicides were committed with some form of a rifle. You think that's vastly different in Philadelphia? And I know you don't. I mean, I know.
Well, I do have some numbers, Senator. I think the thing. So I'm not going to talk about the national picture.
Yes, sir.
331 murders in Philadelphia last year. 282 were committed with a handgun, 2 with a shotgun. This year we've had 31 murders, which is actually 37% down year to date compared to last year. 25 with handguns, 2 with a shotgun, including, unfortunately, yesterday morning, Jennifer Fitzpatrick, 37 years old, mother of 4, was killed by her ex-boyfriend in front of her 4-year-old with a 12-gauge shotgun after chasing her down the street and shooting repeatedly after her.
Right.
So gun violence, certainly in Philadelphia and many of our major cities across the United States of America, I would only suggest, Senator, handgun, rifle, shotgun, dead is dead.
Well,
and that's what's being experienced in our cities all across America.
I couldn't agree with you more, but the reason we have hearings like this is try to paint the picture for America of the problem we're trying to solve.
Right.
And I don't know what percentage of deaths are caused by rifles in Philadelphia, but I know nationally it's 2.5%. Mr. Hardy, you've done some research on American ownership of the AR-15, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Under the Heller definition, do you think it would be a commonly used or a weapon in common use at the time?
Senator, I believe it would clearly be a weapon in common use at the time. The first bit of research I included was that approximately 22% of all American rifle production at the moment is devoted to the AR-15 platform. Excuse me, that's the minimum. Those are companies that only make AR-15s. Then you've got the other companies that make that plus some other arms.
Now, back to the background check, Chief Lynn, I think it's a very interesting observation that he's not into chasing paper. And I guess my point is, if you have 76,000 people fill a background check and only 13 people plead guilty, I'm not so sure we're sending the right signal to our citizens at large that we're really serious about you trying to get a gun illegally when you only have 13 guilty pleas out of 76,000. And here's a stunning number, Madam Chairman. 19% of the people who failed a background check were fugitives from justice. I mean, that's 13,862 people, apparently, in 2012 failed a background check because they were a fugitive from justice. And my point is that if we should be going after those folks. No matter how you feel about guns, we should be going after those folks. From a background check point of view, is this legislation, Mr. Hardy, that you understand, would it require a background check if I sold the gun to my neighbor?
I don't know that this bill specifically relates to that, but the proposals I've seen would say yes, you would be required to go through a dealer.
All right. Now, Ms. Adams, about self-defense, are you familiar with a case in Atlanta? I think it happened probably a month or two ago, where a man, entered the house with a crowbar, just gotten out of jail. The mother was at home with 2 twin daughters, I think. She took the daughters up to the second floor and hid in a closet. The intruder followed up and opened the closet door. She had a 6-shot revolver. She was on the phone with her husband. She emptied the gun, hit him 5 or 6 times, and he was able to get in his car and drive away. In a situation like that, would you object to the mother having a 20-round clip?
No. And I am familiar with it. I heard about it like many mothers and grandmothers. As a law enforcement officer, the question I had was if he followed them upstairs, sought them out when he had full access to any valuables downstairs, what was his intent?
Well, we'll never know what he was up to because it ended in a way where the family was safe. And we all agree that no one who is mentally unstable or a criminal should have one bullet with any gun. And the whole point here is try to make sure that we balance keeping guns out of the hands of the wrong people without also recognizing the Second Amendment. I would suggest that in some situations, 6 bullets is not enough for a person defending their family, and 1 bullet in the hands of the wrong person is way too many. And that's what we're trying to accommodate here. Now, one last thing, and I'm trying to wrap this up. There's a debate about self-defense here, Mr. Hardy. If you had a lawless situation, let's say there's a natural disaster somewhere. Unfortunately, these things happen. There are 3 homes. There's a home without a gun, there's a home with a shotgun, and a home with an AR-15. If there's a gang roaming around the neighborhood, what home do you think is best protected in a situation like that?
I'd say in that situation, Senator, an AR-15, the one with the AR-15, but you don't even have to go to a hypothetical. I've been in a situation where you needed it. It's anywhere along the border. I live about 60 miles from the Mexican border. I was within 5 miles of the border with a rancher working on a court case. The rancher had a pistol, his wife had a pistol, I had a pistol, and he had an AR-15 in the car, and I felt distinctly underarmed. I mean, we only had one. If you encounter a drug cartel gang coming through, you're going to need more than that.
And I would just end by saying that Vice President Biden has made the case, and I think he's very sincere, that to his wife, if you live in a wooded area, you got a double-barrel shotgun to ward off the bad guys, go outside and fire a couple of shots. And he also made the case to a gentleman from California, if there's a natural disaster, the shotgun is a preferred weapon over the AR-15 for self-defense. And I would just say that reasonable people can disagree on that. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you, Senator.